want to show you guys how we can do a quick and easy painting in 30 minutes. So let me show you this other one. If I can do it without hurting this top one. Okay, so here's one that we painted the other day. This definitely took more than 30 minutes. Can y'all see it? So we've got a cute little bunny, and here's that same bunny in a little bit smaller size that I'm putting glass and resin on. So there's where I have just laid it all down to see if I like it and everything, and I asked the ladies in the group what they thought. Tonight we're going to paint a super easy one. This one should take us about 30 minutes. It should be very easy for anybody to attempt. So let's get started, and somebody can kind of keep the time and holler at me if I'm taking too long, because we want this to be quick and easy for anybody. And, you know, I started painting as stress relief, and stress relief to me, you know, is kind of quick and easy. I don't want a 2-hour painting if I'm trying to relieve stress. Now, I personally do, but back then I was working full time and did not have, you know, a long time to do a lot of art. So quick and easy was the way to go for me. So I'm going to show you this one for anybody else who just needs a little quick and easy. Getting out all my spring colors. I am using Liquitex Basics. These are thicker than your normal craft paints, but still inexpensive if you get them on sale. I'm afraid I'm gonna squirt that everywhere. So we're not going to start the clock until I get all my paint out. Okay. So for my background, I wanted kind of that teal kind of color. So I'm taking our turquoise and probably all that green. Let's just mix the two, and we'll add just a little bit of white once I make sure I've got, see, that's got a lot of green in it. So grab some more of the blue. And let's go ahead and grab some white and get our background color going. Thank you. Let me see if I can get the comments to show better. Thank you, Sherry. So let me know if you're new here. I see some of my regulars. These are ladies that a lot of them are in my private group. So if you're new, say hey to us and we'll say hey back. We love welcoming new people in. I was going to do this on a 6-inch and realized that the pack of 6 inches that I had were actually 4 inches. So they were too small. So there's our teal color. And now I'm going to add more white to lighten it up. I'm going to see about how much. And this is going to be my background color. You can always mix your own, or you can use whatever you want to use. You could do it baby blue or any other color. Still think I want more blue. That's a really pretty color. I did have a little bit more blue on the other one I did, but I'm hating to use so much paint. You know, I hate to keep adding. I think I'm going to use this color. It's more green than I pictured, but it's still really pretty. All right, I'm using a little bit larger brush. It's a wash brush, and it's a 3/4 inch, but you know, I was going to do this on a 6-inch, so a 1/2 inch would work, but just want a large flat brush to get your background down. And loading this brush up with our pretty color here. And then we're just gonna get a nice, I wouldn't say thick coat, so it's better to have a couple of coats of thin paint than to try to do it too thick, because we want this to dry so that we can go on to the next step. And if you just go back and forth, you're going to get a nice smooth background. I think I'm going to have to add some more blue. I'm going to do this one in this color, and then I'm going to add blue and do another coat. This is a really pretty color, but I did not get enough blue for me. hope this isn't one of those where I have to keep going out and getting back in to see comments. Hello, Mary Oker. Glad you're here. Hope everybody had a good weekend and is having a good day today. Brand new week, lots of new opportunities. Hi, Luanna, glad you came in. I love seeing you guys live. If anybody was here when I talked about having a video that was restricted, do y'all remember that? They did find in favor of me because I didn't appeal, and so I'm back in good shape with YouTube. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little more blue and get this to a color that I like better. So this is just blue and green that I'm mixing. And I'm going to add some white. You can mix and mix, and you know, there's usually not ruining. You can always fix it. So start with a little bit and then add more, and then you won't waste a lot of paint. See how we're getting a more blue tint? That's perfect. Blue hue, actually, not tint. I know, Mary, I love mixing to get the color that either is in my mind or that, you know, I want. And that one was pretty, really pretty, but I did want more blue. So here's the perfect color. Oops, let me wipe that off so I don't get quite as much in my water. Ooh, that's pretty. See? Now, if you want to, you can even add white on your canvas as you go. So there's no problem with that. I'll even take a little bit and show you. I would just add a little bit to the tip and just kind of smooth it in. And you can either leave it to where you can see the white or just continue to blend, and you'll blend it right into your color. I'll do a little bit more, show you. So, you know, sometimes I do leave it streaky like this, or if I just want to lighten what's on my canvas, I'll just keep blending back and forth, and then it blends it in. Ooh, this is going to make me run late because I said I want to do this in 30 minutes. It can be done in 30 minutes. I did a couple earlier and kept it to 30 minutes. And I've got quite a bit of paint down here, so we'll see. Okay. I am going to dry this. Let me give you guys a pro tip. So if you use a heat gun like I do, honestly a hairdryer is better, but I just have a heat gun in here. I've used it forever. Move your brushes, because I usually have my brushes sitting right here, and I turn my heat gun on and I do this, and if I'm not paying attention, I'm heating those brushes and singeing the bristles. So move them over. Move them out of your way if you're going to use something like this that gets 400 degrees so that you don't ruin it. I hope I'm not missing comments. Mary Oker, you're the last one I see. And if you watch the replay, just say, hey, watching replay. Now, I won't dry this completely. I'm just going to kind of get a good surface dry, and we'll paint right on top of it. Yeah, let me see if I can get you a little closer. So now we're going to grab a round brush. Actually, let me grab a small brush. I'll grab this number 1 or 2. This is a number 2 round. And I'm going to give us our little bunny shape. So let's just kind of block that in first. So for your bunny, he's going to be hiding in the grass. You just want basically a little circle. So I always think, you know, maybe here to here. I don't want to do him too big because his ears can't be super tall on this canvas. So maybe something like that. I'm just doing just a soft little outline to kind of keep me in check. Do an ear. And then this ear I thought we would fold over. So you go about halfway-ish and then bring it down. And then meet there. So, and then, you know, we're going to have some flowers. She'll have on a flower crown, and we'll put some grass, but that's our basic shapes. Now I'm going to grab my larger brush. This is a 6. If you have a 6 or an 8, that works great for something like this. And I am going to mix up just a little bit of gray. So let's grab our palette knife here. If you'll mix with your palette knife, you'll save your brushes. They'll last a lot longer. And it's okay if we have a little blue in it. That will actually look really pretty. I could get out some clean white paint, but the blue will give it a pretty color too. I am going to need some more white though. Need to get some more. I'm almost out of white. You'll use the most of your white and the least of your black. So when you're buying paint, you'll buy extra white and definitely not a lot of black. So there's a pretty gray, light gray. And then I'm also gonna take a little bit and do, you know, that's quite a bit of black for a small amount of paint, but this will give us a dark gray here, and we'll use that to kind of add some shadows. Okay, so back to our round brush, we wet it, tap it off, tap it on your paper towel, and just start filling in the ears. Now we're keeping this very loose and playful and fun so that we can do it in 30 minutes, because sometimes all you need is a little art time and, you know, get a mixed media book or something and paint, and it will be so relaxing because we're all stressed out all the time. You know, we need things to bring us down and de-stress. So as you can see, I'm just kind of doing the outer edges. I'm going to take that darker gray. I might even add a little more to it and kind of add some of that. Keep it loose. Don't be a perfectionist with this. This is fun, playful, and whimsical. And you know I've got white here, so as I'm doing this with the light gray, I can also pick up some white anywhere I want to put light, more lightness in. Hi Laveda, hi Joan, hi Andrea. I'm so glad y'all came in. How was your Monday? Praying it's a good day. Andrea, how are you feeling? You can go to a bigger brush. Like I said, I thought I was going to be doing a 6-inch canvas tonight. And when I pulled it off the shelf, they were 4 inches. So I didn't want to go that small. So this is an 8-inch square. So I should get a little more than 30 minutes. I said we could do this in 30 minutes, and you can, but we are covering more ground, and I am trying to look at comments. Don't worry about the bottom because we're going to have grass down there. He's just peeking out of the grass. This is a really fun thing to paint on Easter buckets. Well, I call them buckets, but those silver galvanized pails, I paint those every year usually. Take orders and paint them for people to give their kids. And so I've painted a lot of this type of thing on those pails. Or even a canvas bag. So think outside the box. You don't always have to paint it on a canvas. I do love these heavier bodied paints. They give you a really pretty texture that you can't get from craft paint. So every now and then I like to use these. Hi Brenda. Is it Andrea? So are you saying the surgery didn't work, or is this part of the recovery? Let me know. I'm so sorry. One of these days you're going to be able to say, oh, I feel so much better. I'm just adding a little bits of shadows here and there. And once you add your darkness, you can blend it out if you don't want it too dark. That's what I'm doing, just kind of blending it a little bit. I do like a little bit of that darkness, kind of almost like a shadow on the ears here. And then I'm going to clean my brush and grab a little pink. So just a little pink, and we'll grab some clean white. Still lighten it up a tad. So on this ear, we're just going to put a little right here. This ear can have all of it right here. Keep it loose and playful, remember. And then let's add a little more on this ear because this one's folded over. So got to color that in a little bit. I'm going to add a little gray. Just use the colors on your palette, your white, your gray, and your pink to kind of get those ears how you want them. Oh, thank you. We just mixed green and blue and a little white. Once you like the blended look, you can stop. I'm going to quickly do eyes. So I'm going to try this number 2 round for the eyes. Actually, I'm going to use a detail. I put detail brush on the list. So the VIP group, the ladies that I teach every month, they get the supply list and the, what else? Supply list and tracer for every design. So if you hear me say that, that's what I'm saying. It is on there. We're going to do some ovals. If you don't like doing eyes, or it's hard for you to make an oval or something, you can always do the sweet eyes, I call them, where you just kind of go like that, just a little, and even a few eyelashes if you want. So not too close together. Okay, once you get those fairly even, it's okay if they're not perfect. This is whimsical. Doesn't need to be perfect. We'll let those dry before we do any more. But I'm going to use the same small brush for the nose, and I'm going to take that pink color, and we're going to do, think about a soft triangle. So you can do kind of a triangle at first and then soften it. So soft edges. Got a little too much water. Oh, Brenda, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, goodness, you're too good to me. I'm going to go back to a liner brush. This is a liner brush, and it makes it much easier to make like the mouth. And so this has got a lot of liquid on it. I've gotten it wet. Now, you don't want it dripping, but it does have a lot of liquid. And then I'll go from the nose and do a little mouth. Do a little fish hook. It's kind of looks like that. Okay. Now back to that small brush. I'm going to pick up, hopefully that's dry enough, and I'm going to pick up a little white. Clean that. And make a little, I call it a comma, just to kind of help people understand what I'm doing. It's not really a circle, it's more of a put it down and drag it. If you let yours dry, then you won't get so much charcoal in it, but it doesn't bother me to have that in there. Hope y'all can see okay. Let me know. And then I'll make a few little dots over here. I don't want a perfect, you can even kind of drag it across just to add, because you got a big eye and it looks a little funny if it's all too black to me. Okay, back to the liner brush, and we'll add a few lashes. We're going to quickly do some flowers. So I'm going to get out a little of our fuchsia, and we're going to use the fuchsia pink and yellow. Now, if you're in the VIP group, like I said, you've got the supply list. If anybody else wants to paint this and you're not in the group, let me know if you want the colors. I usually do put them on here on YouTube in the video description. I didn't today, so if you want them, let me know and I'll add them. I don't know if you guys use them or not. I'm just going, I dipped into my fuchsia, but I'm going right into my pink. We're going to put one over here. So it's got both colors on the brush. Just let it blend together. So I don't want them to look exactly the same. And then I'll grab my pink and some yellow and do one over here. That's just your base colors. And we're going to make some simple little flowers. So this time I'll pick up some of our pink without anything with it, and we'll put a few little commas around. And then I'll grab some yellow and put some here. We're just using all of our colors to kind of make these pretty little spring flowers. And this time I'll grab the magenta, is what it's called, and give it a dark center, and then come around with some commas. Can go ahead and add some to the others. I like to let them dry a little bit in between, but you know, we're doing fast today, so we're not. We're just coming on in and finishing them out. Picking up a little pink. Each one will look different even if you're using the same colors, because you're kind of going in with a different, you know, combination each time. I grabbed a little white. You know, pink and yellow are going to make a little bit of an orange shade if we blend them, so that's why this combo looks good together. And it's just personal preference, you know, how much of each color you want to add. I don't want to spend too much time. Okay. Thank you, Luann and Sherry. I appreciate y'all. Hi, Judy. Okay, I'm going to cleaned off my brush pretty well. I'm going to get out some more of our green. This is light olive green. Don't need that much, but we're going to take our turquoisey color here, mix with some of our green, and I'm going to add just a dot of black, and that will give us a really pretty dark green. I should use my, what do you call it, palette knife, but I gotta hurry because I wanted to try to get this done in 30 minutes. Okay, let's do just leaves wherever you want. Just adding a few little spritz, you know, those kind of leaves that are just like long, like grass, kind of. Now I'm going to take our lime green or olive green and a little yellow. I haven't cleaned my brush, so it's okay if you get some of the aqua on there. It doesn't matter. It's all going to blend pretty. And then I'm going to grab a little white and lighten that up. And that will go on top. Go to a smaller brush if needed. Definitely help to kind of You see I'm trying to cover, I touched that pink, so I've got pink in the leaf, but that's fine. I think that's pretty good. It's up to you how much you want to add. Okay. I touched my bunny, so I'm just going to grab a little white and kind of smooth that over. And now we're ready to add our grass. Let's grab our 2-inch. Oh, this is the 2 right here. Sorry, guys. Y'all still with me? Okay, I am going to use my knife to mix a little more, and we're going to do some green real quick. We're going to take just a little bit of black with this blue and grab this green right here and mix up a darker green. I'm trying to use the colors that I have out and not add any new ones to the palette, so let me grab just a little more green. And then just a touch of black. It's better to add less than you think you'll need because black will really overtake it if you add too much. But now we've got a really pretty, almost Kelly green. And I'm going to take that number 2 brush with this Kelly green and make a lot of tall grass down here. And just go back and forth, back and forth. This is, are we even? This is a whimsical painting, so definitely doesn't need to, you know, be exact. And just see how I'm doing. Just kind of let your brush slide down. You obviously have to watch where you're going because you don't want the grass over her face, but then you can go back high again toward the sides and get taller at the edges. She's probably pushing that grass down to look over, to look at something. Maybe kids are picking up Easter eggs or something. And then we're gonna also grab our yellow. I really need some clean yellow. Bring that over and mix to get a lighter color we can go back over our grass with. So I'm just adding the yellow that's on my palette already. And then I'm gonna add white. Actually, that's not, oh, there it is. Add some white to lighten it up. See that pretty green? Will be perfect to go over our grass. Same brush. Picking up that green and come back over it. Now, because this is heavy-bodied, or medium-bodied paint, really, it will take a little bit longer to dry than a typical canvas would using acrylic craft paints, but it's worth it because it's such pretty paint. It gives you better texture, and it's just fun to paint with. Now, if you have more time, you know, we're doing this quick, but you could even add, you know, clouds in the sky or whatever, and a little butterfly. And then I do plan on doing the sides cute, so probably stripes. But that is your bunny in a quick 30-minute lesson. I am going to add a few little finishing touches. So I'll take this pink that we had out with some white and really lighten that up. And we'll put a little highlight. Ooh, see, I've got a little green on my brush still. Got to clean that. That's why I've got 2 things of water, because sometimes you need some clean water. Glad y'all are here live. It's always funner to have friends with you. So that's just pink and white. If we can avoid the green, would be fantastic. And I'm just gonna give her a little nose a highlight with that. Like so. And then if you want to, you don't have to, but you can always come back with a little black and kind of come and give things, you know, a little shaded area. I typically don't use black, but in a really whimsical painting like this, you can. It just helps define everything. You can also just add a darker green. But honestly, that's about it in just a quick 30-minute lesson. And this is something that everybody can do. So if you can draw a circle and think about a comma or just a curved line and a curved line, you're just breaking everything down into shapes. Circle flowers, oval eyes, a little soft triangle. You know, it really, you realize how easy it can be once you break everything down. All right. Let me hold it up a little better. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that this kind of inspires you to try something new and just be whimsical with it. You know, have fun with it. Don't be so serious with it. And you've got a cute little thing. You could paint this on a sack, on a canvas, of course, on a pail, you know, for kids to have a little treat in, but just anything. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Brenda. Thank you. Thank you, Omi. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. VIP friends, I will see y'all tomorrow in the VIP group. And if you want these supplies for this project, please let me know in the comments. And VIPs, they're already in your group, okay? I will see y'all next Monday. I hope you'll come and join us. Bye-bye, guys.